Hello again YouTube, and welcome back to Just Get a Tesla. And today I'm going to be parking my car here at this station car park for a number of days, and I'd like to keep it secure. And to do that, I'm going to use the Tesla onboard security system called Sentry. How does it work, and is it going to drain my battery? Well, putting it simply, Sentry uses all of the cameras on the car. So there are 3 of them up front. There is a camera there, obviously the same again on the other side. There is a camera there on the back, and new to the Model Y Juniper, there is even one right down here on the front. So a whole suite of cameras that are going to keep the car secure whilst I'm away. So inside your car, you go into the safety menu, and you can see right there at the top, Sentry Mode. Well, if we click on the I, because it will give you an explanation. So I'll let you read this by yourself, but in essence, it uses any sensors that the car has got, such as the car being tipped, as an example, if it's been picked up and shunted onto a flatbed, and predominantly the cameras, and that means that it is always watching for anything that might be happening to your car. It does need power of more than 20%, so you do need to put a bit of power in. I am on 51%. So there's a number of different options on Sentry. You can exclude particular locations, home, work, any other place that you want. You can choose how many minutes of clip that you want, and then camera-based detection. So Sentry will use the vehicle's cameras in addition to the sensors to detect a security threat. So basically, look, here's how it works. If it sees somebody going past it, okay, then it is going to trigger. So what we're going to do for this test, we are going to put camera-based detection on. So I want to put the maximum strain on the system as I can to show you how much power is going to be drained over the next 3 days or so whilst the car is parked here. There's also an option to view the camera in the mobile app. I've got that turned on because that's quite useful to have. The other parts of Sentry are dash cam, where basically the cameras are always running constantly on a loop, and then you can choose when to save the clips if you want to do so. Go into dash cam in your app drawer, and it will pull you up all of the pictures, so you can see here all of the different camera views that I was just taking you around. Yeah, we can see all of those. And then you can go up here and it will give you a whole list of clips. Several of these are me, where it's like, ooh, what is going on? And it says here, jump to the event. So it shows over here where the red bar is. So the car is basically always detecting when anybody is going up and trying to do things to it. But as well as that, you've also got various driving clips. So I don't know, let's go on to one here. You can see, and every single camera angle is recorded. And on this new car with hardware 4 cameras, you can see the quality is really good. So that's where we're at. The other thing, of course, that can burn battery whilst you're away is the climate controls, where if we go up to here, now, where is climate controls on this? I think it's in, is it under safety? The other thing I have to maintain the battery in good condition without it all draining is to try and keep the temperature down in here, because the fans will kick in if it goes above a certain temperature. With my friends at Jawa and these clips which I have pre-installed, we have a solution. So inside the bag you have got these folded up sunshades, which you quite literally just shake them apart. I can't do this one-handed. This was actually the point where I suddenly realized that I was about to miss my train. So I had to curtail filming a little bit. But as you can see, I'm sat here at home with the shade installed. So what I'm going to drop in now is me installing it here so that you can see it being done properly. It's 8 o'clock the following morning, and I've just glanced at the app, not because I was intending to, but it just flashed up on my phone, and I note that it's already gone down to 47%. So in just under 12 hours, we've lost about 2.5%. I'm almost certain that's because the cameras are on, and that's kind of why I've done it. I put the cameras on deliberately to show you just how much power you can burn if you put Sentry on wrong. Hello from the future. It's now Friday morning. I left on Tuesday night, and let's go and see what state the car's in. I do know that we have lost some power while it's been sat here, because I'm looking on the app and I'm watching the state of charge going down. But I've also been having a look at what's been going on, so I know why the battery has gone down. So let's get to the car and I'll show you. So what I like about Sentry is that it is guarding the car when I'm not here. And that is quite literally what it's been doing. So if we open the car and have a look, 30, you see that now? 31%. So that's how much state of charge we now have, which is quite a drop really from the 50% in a few days. But if we go into Sentry, come on, there we go. Can you see a whole list since we parked the car on Tuesday? So that was me parking the car, okay, and then having a look, and then look, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different things that it wants to have a look at. So you can see some people having a meander along, and it's showing you off the different camera angles. We can go on to a different one. Somebody getting back in their car. Let's see, are they going to open their door into mine? No. And another one. Guy parked next to me. Again, he's being very careful. But let's assume that he hadn't been careful. What can we do then? Well, hopefully we're then going to catch him, there you go, on one of the other cameras. So I've then gone onto a different camera, this one here. Okay, so let's assume that he had carelessly opened his door into mine and created a really big dent. Then I've got the guy's face on camera, and then when he pulls away in a second, come on. Oh, these manual cars, honestly, take ages. And there's a number plate. So, had anything happened, I would have all of the details on here to be able to get something sorted out, okay? That is what Sentry does. But you can also see that part of the reason why the battery has dropped quite as much as it has, and it's only in 2.5 days, is because there's been a blooming lot of incidents that it has recorded, and all of these are because it's using the cameras as surveillance. So let's go back into settings again just for a minute, okay? If we go into the settings, it's this one here, camera based detection. This is what is draining the battery most. If it's disabled, it will only save clips if there is a physical threat. And what it means by a physical threat is if somebody goes and starts trying door handles or bumps into the car so that it feels the movement, then it will record the clips. If you have that turned off, with it turned on, then anytime the cameras detect anybody going around, then it's recording the clip. And with where I chose to park, with respect to it, you were always going to get a lot, because that is one of the main access roads into the car park. And then you have got pedestrian walkway thing here, and it is a pedestrian walkway up there. So I was always going to get quite a lot of camera incidents parked here. And this was the purpose in the experiment. Where people say, oh, Sentry Mode's no good, it drains the battery. Well, it's draining the battery, and again, 19% in 2.5 days is a fair old chunk. But it's draining the battery because of the settings that you're using. Had I turned that off, it would have drained a few percent. The fan has turned itself on because it's warm. And with the car set up, you can have a thing called cabin overheat detection, where it will put the air conditioning on if it goes above a certain temperature. And obviously, the warmer the temperature, the more the fan has to come on, and that burns power. And that, of course, is where today's video sponsor Jawa comes in, because I have got their big sunshade installed in the top of my car on these simple clips. There, you can see them actually on the clip now. And what that has done is it stopped the sun coming in through the glass roof. We all love the glass roof on Tesla, but if you're not in the car, you don't need the feature of the glass roof, and putting the covers on just helps to keep the temperature down from going to somewhat excessive. I was sat reading on a thread on X this morning of somebody saying that the interior of their car, after days in the sun, had got to 75 degrees. Somebody else complaining that they had accidentally left some dog food, I think it was, in the rear, and it had cooked. So if you've got a sunshade like this one from Jawa, and check the links and get a discount, I'm not going to tell you the price. People always say, why don't you tell us the price? Well, I don't know in which market you're in. I know I've got a lot of people in from the UK and from the US and from Australia and from Canada and other places, but different prices in different markets. Go and check the link. Anyway, these, really easy to install, really easy to pack away, and they absolutely have helped keep the temperature down to a more manageable mid to high 30s, rather than it going to 75 and cooking theoretical dog food. So it is a thought. It's another day, it's another car park, it's another parking up overnight. It is once again roasting hot, and this time I've taken the Jawa shade out, and we're going to do a comparison of how much power we are going to burn, admittedly in a shorter period of time, but we'll be able to check that against the previous one. What was very clear about the last day was that when you go onto the energy use app, it can show you how much energy you have consumed whilst parked, and note the percentage of power burned in keeping the cabin overheat from going off. This car stayed below the 40 degrees threshold that had been set because I had a shade in the roof. I no longer have a shade in the roof, and it's still 30 degrees and extremely humid. Let's see what a difference that makes when I come back to you in a minute. I'm back in the car and I'm setting up for the next shoot. So let's see what the damage has been overnight. So we got out on 62%. It's now the following morning and I'm on 57%. So the reason why we've lost 5% overnight is we have had a few Sentry events. So let's have a look at what we have got. So we've only actually had two since we parked here, because we were in a different location yesterday. So there's only been two Sentry events versus the huge stack of previous ones that we had, if you look. Yeah. So on the previous one, we were burning an awful lot of power overnight, and well, an awful lot of people were going past the cameras. Here, I'm just curious. So, and this is, yeah, just people walking past the edge of the car yesterday. That's absolutely fine. And then I assume the one this morning was it me? Yes, it was me. For whatever reason, it switched the Sentry mode on while I was getting back in. But the interesting thing is, okay, if you look at this, this is showing that we burned 5% overnight, and that was from 5 o'clock yesterday, and it's 5 to 8 in the morning. But you can see there we have got a bit of cabin overheat protection. So without the blinds covering the roof, it was getting warm in here and the fan did kick in a little bit, but most of it was Sentry mode. So if you're going to leave your car for a long period of time and you want to keep the thing secure without all of the battery draining out, there are a couple of things that you need to do. The first one is that Sentry is going to take power regardless of what you've done with settings. But if you want to leave Sentry on, turn camera-based detection off. That way you are not having the cameras pinging every time anybody goes anywhere near the car. If you're in a really busy car park, you're going to have people going past quite a lot, as I saw in the first car park that I went into when I was on the main entranceway. They're going off all the time, and every time they're going off, they are burning power. Have the cabin overheat protection turned as high as you let it. So 40 degrees is the highest that it will let me do on my app. And whilst it's there, find ways of shading the car. You know, in hotter countries where they put shades across the windows, they do that to keep the interior of the car cool. So if you can shade your windows, that again is another way of preventing the battery being drained, because the car is going to try and stop the interior of the car cooking. And then there is one more thing that you need to look at. In the charging menu, there is now this thing called keep accessory power on. If you've got that turned on, what it means is that all of the 12-volt power sockets in the car will keep vending power whilst you're not here. So if you've got, I don't know, a cool box or something plugged in, keep accessory power on will make sure that it maintains power. But it will only do this above 20%. Below 20%, it switches off. So this already tells you that this is going to burn power. So if you want to make sure that you don't drain your battery, even if there's nothing plugged in, it's still going to drain the power. Turn that one off. I hope that this little demonstration of Sentry mode and the power consumption has been useful to you. If it has been, then share the video with other people who might also need a little bit of real world learnings. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I've got loads more Tesla content to come, including whatever it is that I'm going to be shooting for the rest of the day, because what I was going to do is off. The weather has seen to that. The weather might be seen to quite a few things. So if you want to see that video, and I'm still not quite sure how wet and wild today's going to be, but oh boy, it's going to be wet and wild. But make sure you've subscribed, and then you'll know when that video drops. And I will see you after my imminent drowning back here on Just Get a Tesla.